Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises to Barak Atha Yahawah, Barak Atha Yahawashi, Barak Atha Yahawah, Barak Atha Yahawah, Barak Atha Yahawashi, Barak Atha Yahawashi. I want to give all praises to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rawchaa Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who led me to this truth and have been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all who are part of the elect, whomever they are. Lord willing to be part of that number. Lord willingness be edifying to the hopeful elect, who are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9. Also want to give sincere salutation to all the brethren across the four corners of the earth, teaching this truth and sincerity, and the humble sisters that listen in humbleness and silence and humility. So we're going to get into some topics today. Lord willing, this be edifying to the flock. New World Order. Russia doubles down on ICBM production. Gold and silver will fail, and various end time topics. So, to the power of Yahawashi, you know, first and foremost, we want to bless Yahawashi for giving us another day to dwell on this earth and to worship Him and exalt His name before His second coming. And I want to give thanks to Yahawashi for protecting the elect and whomever they may be, and bringing us to this truth, because nobody wakes. I was listening to several of the Akians videos, as I always do, and giving us some truth. Orlando made a really good point. He said, nobody wakes you up to the truth. Only Yahawashi can wake you up to the truth. So if you come to this truth, just remember it was Yahawashi that bring you here. So, you know, all glory and praises go to Yahawashi, man. Period. All praises go to Yahweh. You know, without Him sending His Son, wouldn't be here today. So, right here, we're gonna start right here with the title of this article is Gravitas Plus: China, Iran, and Russia to create a new world order with a question mark. And then we're gonna pull up the scripture that shows that the Lord's gonna give them together, but they're not gonna be the new world order. The new world order is gonna be Yahawashi, 144,000 elect governing body, the honorable multitude under them, and their children, which will be the 2/3. And then under that will be all the tributaries, which is the other 16 nations. And then Esau, Edom will be destroyed. And then those babies, those people that were Esau, Edom, that spirit will be purged out of them once again to the fire after the slavery. And then they will be birthed back in under the other 16 nations at the bottom of the whole system. And the other 17 nations will not have immortality. Immortality only belongs to the 12 tribes of Israel. So let's get started.
A new world order is emerging. A new axis of world powers with common grievances and one common enemy. No prizes for guessing which one: the United States of America. A country which has for decades tried to shape our world in its image and established its preeminence in almost every facet of power, be it military, economy, technology, culture, or morality for that matter. It is America the world looks up to, all thanks to its global influence networks and, of course, the American PR machinery. But what if I tell you that things are changing? That America's global empire is crumbling, the hegemony of Western nations is dying, and a new alliance is looking to replace it, an alliance led by 3 countries: Russia, China, and Iran. the three most sanctioned countries in the world. They seem to have formed a rather informal alliance of convenience, a loose alliance of sorts which the West is calling a troika of tyranny and a triad of bullies.
Anyone from Oklahoma should pay close attention.
Oh, so America Babylon the Great want to call them some bullies. All right.
Oklahoma, who earned less than $50,000 in 2020.
What have they done to deserve such titles, and can they really reshape the prevailing world order? Or will they instead push the world into further disorder? And above everything else, where does India fit in this new axis? Does it have any reason to worry? We'll find out over the next few minutes. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. My name is Priyanka Sharma. A new global alliance is now in the making, an alliance between China, Iran, and Moscow. They're forging their strategic, defense, and economic ties. It doesn't take a genius to notice the pattern. Just look at some recent developments. Ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, the three countries have come closer. Yes, China is uncomfortable with the war, but it still provides Russia with a diplomatic umbrella. It is also helping Moscow economically by rejecting the G7's price caps on oil.
Now, hold on. We're going to type in a few scriptures and, before we keep moving on. This is what they're doing right now. And this article is actually about 3 weeks ago. So Jeremiah 49:17. Also Edom, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, shall be his land shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. That's what they're doing. They're announcing it. America, Babylon the greatest plague in the world, but the other 16 nations, they plague the world too. So they trying to make it seem like they're going to be the next new world order. But no, they're just doing what the Lord told them to do, to take out America, Babylon the Great. And Great Britain will join them. Okay, this is Jeremiah 50, verse 11. Because America, Babylon the Great, a proud nation, they really think they can't get beat. You're going to find out. You ain't even been around for 250 years. What makes you think you're going to last forever? Jeremiah 50, verse 11. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. Remember, iconoclasm, destroying heritages. So they did. They destroyed Israel's heritage. It was ordained by the Lord, but now they got to pay for it. Because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Who's that? Great Britain. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert from the intercontinental ballistic missiles. America, Babylon the Great will be destroyed. Period. We're gonna watch a little bit more, and then we're gonna tie in how India is going to be a part of it too. We know because the BRICS nations. It's Brazil, Russia, India, and some people say Iran. It could be both because they're both going to join. And then Saudi Arabia, and they say South Africa, but it could be Saudi Arabia or South Africa. So Brazil, Russia, Iran or India, China, and South Africa and South Arabia, they're all going to get together. Okay?
The same case with Iran. It is still buying Russian oil and sending weapons in return. Yes, for the last 1 year, Tehran has sent countless kamikaze drones. And if reports are to be believed, it might just send ballistic missiles by this October.
See?
These deals are being...
They said October, right? Well, I was listening to another Akim, and he was talking about they're going to... And I did a video talking about they was going to make people start switching over to digital like electric cars, electric everything, right? And they said they're trying to drop it in July. Now they talking about the FBI got a new digital system coming in July. July, everything's going to start going down. Okay, before that, it's going to be a lot that happens, but July, things are really going to start kicking off with this digital system. Okay, they're getting it set up right now and making sure when they launch it, they can do a full-fledged, you know, movement on it. So that's what they're doing.
Accompanied by state visits. Leaders and officials from all three countries have been frequently flying to each other's capitals. In July last year, the Russian president went to Tehran. He met his counterpart, Ibrahim Raisi, and discussed strengthening bilateral ties. Contrary to expectations, Iran didn't downplay this visit. In fact, it rolled out a red carpet for Vladimir Putin. The Iranian oil minister personally went to greet Putin. And then in November, a group of Russian security officials visited Iran. Their aim was to find ways to counter Western pressure on both countries.
See?
Syria is another good example.
Yep.
Another good example of the Iranian and Russian interests coming together. For years now, both sides have been trying to keep Bashar al-Assad in power. Their only aim is to counter American interests in Syria.
See, that's all they want to do. They want to take out America, Babylon the Great. They hate this place. People here in America, Babylon the Great hate this fucking place. You know, which is Israel. We hate this fucking place. Everybody hates this place. They're tired of this shit. We ready to see this motherfucker get blown the fuck up.com by the destruction of the Almighty. That's what he said in Isaiah. We're going to read it in a second.
Just last week, the US shot down Iranian-made spy drones in Syria. And if we speak of Russia, despite being militarily involved in Ukraine, Russia still maintains a military presence in Syria, an indication that it's not leaving the country anytime soon. And if we speak of Russian and Iranian cooperation in Syria, it's a tale that gets murkier the deeper you dig. Russia continues to provide a decisive cover to Syrian and Iranian-backed ground forces in Syria. And then, of course, we have China. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russia's Putin recently caught up over a phone call. This was around New Year's Eve. The two sides released statements saying the ties are at their historic best. What's more, Putin said he's expecting a state visit from Xi Jinping soon. We are expecting you, dear friend, was the message from Moscow. We are hardly surprised. The entire world knows about China's bonhomie with Russia, and we focus on China's love affair with Iran. An affair getting intense by the day. You see,
they're coming together. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4. We're going to read a second.
2021, China and Iran signed a 25-year comprehensive strategic partnership deal, a deal that has given China its deepest ever foothold in Iran. With many Iranians even saying that the deal has literally sold Iran to China. But the Islamic Republic's leadership doesn't see it that way. Why?
Over the past 6 months, we have been investigating as well as exposing the truth behind all of these food processing plants that have been catching on fire and burning to the ground.
Yep, making their tongue fall upon themselves. Esau, Edom. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, we were on it first. We knew the story. Well, no. Bahasham already written that there would be famine. Okay? And that's what Esau Edom does. He fucks up everything and goes, look, we fixed it. Well, if you wouldn't have fucked with it, it maybe wouldn't need to get fixed.
Because in return, Iran was made a permanent member of the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a body led by China. It's the largest regional organization in terms of world population, global GDP, and geographic scope. Iran's membership in this body does little for the region it represents, but more for the powers that run it, Russia and China. With Iran on their side, their ambitions of countering the West get greater legitimacy and support. For Iran, this membership helps it battle the economic isolation from the West. So it's a win-win deal of sorts. In December last year, China's Vice Premier Hu Shunhua flew down to Tehran, and more recently, Iran's president visited China, Ibrahim Raisi. He was in Beijing from the 14th of February to the 16th.
So think about this. This was a month ago. So how much more now are they joined? How much do you think more now that they're joined? They were doing this a month ago. Okay? So we're going to pull up. Go ahead, pull it up. Ezekiel. Go to the blue letter. Ezekiel 38:4. You know, it's one that I read a lot. I like bringing it up. It's the Spirit of the Lord doing it. Ezekiel 38:4, because this is going on right now as we're sitting around and, you know, serving the Lord, or, you know, you got 2/3 doing whatever. This is going on right now. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, because it's different nations coming together, even with a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling the swords, all of them gonna have intercontinental ballistic missiles. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gober and all his bands, in the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. They're going to come be a guard and help the BRICS nations. They all hate this place. That's why I said that it will view this place and hiss at her plagues. They're going to say, it's about time we blow this shit up. They gave us all these weapons. We finally got enough strength, and they're being weakened right now. America, Babylon the Great is being weakened. The banks are failing. They talking about everything's going to be okay. Well, how's everything going to be okay if you had 3 banks fail, and I got something coming up soon, talk about the next retail apocalypse that just happened that I got. So stay tuned in, you know, keep tuning in for those who watch, you know, and we know you don't always have time to watch, you know, that's why we do it. So later on you can go watch it and see what's happening, you know, but we're going to warn you. We're like the Lord's like woman, right? And he commanded us to be like basically dogs. What kind of dog don't bark? What kind of dog don't bark whenever there's danger? So if there's dangers ahead, if we're not barking, and how you know we barking? What? We're warning you. We're saying, look, this is what's happening. I think I pull this scripture up every day. Okay? It's been about every day for a little bit. I pull this scripture up to show you, hey, this is coming. So, and I'm just a servant, okay? I'm not even part of the fold. I'm just a servant, you know, I'm nobody, okay? I'm not acknowledged anywhere, okay? So if I'm doing it, and then you see all the people that are actually in Great Millstone doing it, you really think the Lord is going to let you slide if you don't pay attention? It's like I know things that some people even in the military don't know. Because I know immediate people that I know that are in the military. They don't even know this shit, man. Because they not paying attention, man. All they thinking about is that bag, man. That's what a lot of people get in the military for. Oh, I just want to get the bag. Well, you better call on Yahawashi Yahawashi to get you the fuck up out of there, because you're in the hands of the enemy. So, anyways, we're going to go back and listen to a little bit more, and then we're going to move on, because it's got some other stuff going on.
The Chinese president gave him a red carpet welcome, followed by a guard of honor by the Chinese military. The arrangements were grand, to say the least. They had to be. After all, this was the first state visit by an Iranian leader to China in almost 2 decades, and Raisi didn't go to Beijing alone. He took along a huge entourage of ministers. The biggest Iranian delegation to Beijing ever. This included 6 members of Raisi's cabinet. In an editorial about the visit, China's mouthpiece, the Global Times, said that the visit was proof that an anti-Western front is growing. Allow me to quote the
See, it's a front growing. They building that Ezekiel 38, chapter 38, verse 4. They're building it right now. Okay? And then you got over here America, Babylon the Great talking about they the shit, but you see them officials up there like, we don't want no beef, we don't want nothing. We want to have competition. Because why? Because they do their economic hitmen and they fuck up shit privately. Like, who gonna see us? Who gonna see us when we go to these G6, G7 summits? And you think this is Aki made a real good point that I didn't think about. Just because they do those G6, G7 summits, they maybe got 1 or 2 people who go do a speech and they talk about it. They only talk about the topics they want you to see. There's topics that they do not record, and they come you know, they come and they do those. You know what I'm saying? So just because we see a G6, G7 summit and they got a couple shows, shalom, man. Even though they got a couple shows, you know what I'm saying? A couple G7, G6 summits where they come in and they talking and you know, they talking about stuff. That don't mean that later on they don't have people that come, because they be there for 3-4 days. They got people coming in that's talking about stuff that they're not recording. You see what I'm saying? They in that place, like it's like they'll have like a conference. They be like, all right, well, we're gonna have a break. Then they're gonna go to break, come back, then they're gonna really talk about stuff like, all right, so how we gonna do with these devils? How we gonna do with, you're gonna find out that they talk about behind closed doors, they talk about Great Millstone. They talk about the prophets. They talk about that stuff. What are we gonna do with these people? But just like back then, I was listening to one of the Akians videos. They did a video about how there was some Edomites, some lower level Edomites. So why don't we just kill them? The higher Edomites was like, nah, they don't want, you know, they don't want to do that. Yep, they do. Yep. And then, but you're right, man. And but basically, like the lower level Edomites were saying, well, why don't we just kill them then? And they was like, no, because you don't know what they did. You know what their Lord did last time? You know what they did? And they would tell them, like, no, we got to try to deceive them. But you can't deceive the elect. Lord wouldn't be part of that number. You know, and it says in Numbers chapter 35, 33, don't ever make yourself part of the number. So that's why, you know, Great Millstone are the people, man, that you're supposed to be listening to, because they take that to account. All the other camps, you know, IUIC, all these other people, they don't ever take that stuff to account. Yes, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You know what? Let's pull it up. Let's pull up the scripture. Let's pull up the scripture and let's do it real quick. You know, and another thing, you know, for him to wake you up at this time, because nobody wakes you up but Bahasham and Yahawashi. You can't be woken up unless Bahasham and Yahawashi won't wake you up. But when you look right over here, it says Proverbs 9:10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So yeah, you know, we got that understanding, but you can't receive that understanding unless the Lord grants it to you, because he has the keys to death and life. And you know, the death and life is through the tongue. You know, so you got to have found no guile in you, which you got to have that 100% truth doctrine, which Great Millstone has bestowed and given to us, that was given to them by Yahawashi, you know, and through the Qadash, the Holy Spirit. So we're just gonna watch a little bit more of this, and we're gonna move to the next little article. I got a lot of good articles, Lord put Spirit on me to deal with. So we're gonna move forward.
Telling excerpt from the report. It said, China's deepening cooperation with Iran also has an anti-hegemony and anti-bullying feature. Both China and Iran uphold independent foreign policies, firmly defend the principle of non-interference in internal affairs on international occasions. If anyone feels targeted in this process, then they should first reflect on whether they are too selfish. So how do we perceive such statements and developments? Do they indicate the consolidation of an anti-Western axis? Do they indicate the rise of a new world order? It certainly seems like it, and the American media can't stop talking about it.
See, they used to not say New World Order. They used to not say that. They used to say, remember, they said in Wikipedia, it was a conspiracy. But what's this? What they talking about? See, this is prophecy. It's not a conspiracy. This is prophecy, man. This is what's been happening. And just like I said, the BRICS nations, which is Brazil, Russia, Iran, or you can say India, because they're both going to come together, according to Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4. Then you got China, and then you got South Africa or Saudi Arabia, because both of them are all going to come together, and they're going to be a guard unto Russia, because they were the first ones to stand up against America, Babylon the Great, and be like, hey, man, tired of this shit. We ready to lay this place desolate. That's what they're going to do. So, you know, we're going to move on a little bit. You know, she's saying the same stuff. You know, we just filtering in the scriptures to show the prophecy is coming. It's coming. So here's another train derailment. Once again, there's been about 10 train derailments this year alone. Okay, so train cars carrying automobiles derail on Union Pacific's property. This is in Wyoming. Okay, 13 cars carrying automobiles derailed yesterday. You got to think, when stuff derails, there's money that's a lot of money messed up, a lot of trade messed up. That's a lot of stuff getting broke down, and a lot of banks and stuff is getting broke down. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, this is happening, and that's how we know this is a man-made crisis. They're doing this so they can issue in the Nicaragua, the MARK. They're doing this to purposely crash the system and be like, oh, we're gonna save you with this digital system. Okay, and in July it's gonna be here. According to the FBI and all them, they're saying they're gonna have a new digital setup. Okay, coming in July. And I did a video about a month ago that talked about how they was gonna make the cars electric, and they was trying to do it in July. Okay, and it's gonna come to the point where they're gonna say, if you don't have that real ID, because you know how right now we have our IDs that's card, they're gonna say, well, you got to transfer that to the real ID or it's expired. You can't go to the store and get your drink, whatever you do. You can't go to the store, whatever you got to get. They're not gonna, if it needs an ID, you're not gonna be able to get it. And drinking is lawful moderately. So for us who want to get a drink, we ain't gonna be able to get no drink. Okay, whatever. I'll be sober then, because I like having me a little drink every now and then, but I'm not gonna give up nothing for my salvation. I'll be out here with nothing. Okay. And that's how you gotta have that mindset. You gotta be, hey, you can chop my fucking head off for this shit. Because Trump's talking about bringing back guillotines and stuff, and they're talking about he could possibly be indicted. You think they're going to indict him for paying some prostitute or some they said he gave some porn star $125,000 for hush money, but he literally had a whole bunch of people storm the White House. They ain't even charge him with that. They gonna charge him for that, man? They not gonna charge that man for that. Like it said right here, just like it says right here. Before we move on, just a little bit more. He's not in trouble like other men. Okay, and this is all in the scripture. This has all been there before we were even born. And that's why we want to give double honor to our elders and apostles, man. They studied this stuff, so the burden is light by the time we got here. We can just click a couple buttons. There it is. Psalms chapter 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. See? They not. I said, yup. Moderation. A little wine. That's okay. That's lawful. It says, hold on. I'll show you the scripture. It's somewhere around these lines. Hold on. It's a real specific one I want to do. It's I don't really pull it up too much, but I know it's in there. Okay, yep. Ecclesiasticus, because I knew it was in Ecclesiasticus. 31 verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man. Because why? Because we under the curses. We're at the bottom of the earth, So, this is the only thing that really, brings some of us comfort, especially as younger brothers, because, we haven't had too much experience like the older Akim and elders and apostles. So, we still in that new, we're in that bitterness of the scriptures. We're like, man, we fucked up, man. We got to get better, But them, they still have that spirit too of they got to get better, but they're more experienced than us. That's why we want to listen to them. But it said, if it be drunk moderately, like you said, what life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad. See, it's cool to have a couple drinks. And then it says, wine measurably drunk in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. But then it says, but wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling. So that's what it is, You know what I'm saying? It was saying that in the next scripture that wine is bitterness, wine with excess. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen you pop off a little bit for a second. But Lord kind of put the spirit on me, go ahead and bring it up because you're new to the truth. And you're just like me. I'm new to the truth too, Akim. I'm new to the truth too. I'm 1 year older than you, man. I'm not no different than you. We trying to seek Bahasham, Yahawashi to the best of our ability. But right there it says, but wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling. So, that's why you don't want to be excess. Everybody has their limits, So, just know your limits, and to me, I look at it like as long as you focus on your Yahawashi, he's gonna put the spirit on you to know what's enough, But everything's all good, man. Everything's all good. Yeah, go do your thing, man. I'm not even worried about it, man. The water for tuning in, do what you gotta do, man. Anyways, Salakia, for the other followers that are coming in, that's one of the first Akim, that's one of the new Akim, I like to bring them comfort because, that's what we need at this time, but you have your Akim that'll keep you tough. You want to stay tough, stick with this doctrine, and be serious. But right there, it talks about how a bunch of cars is derailed, just to show Esau Edom's trying to issue in that charagma, causing orchestrated chaos. Okay, now we're gonna go here. Okay, talks about it's a big failure for us. Sweden's largest pension fund invested in both Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank before they failed. So the Lord put the spirit on them to do that. Okay, and now they up there, Esau Edom bugging out. It says they don't want me to be able to read it without don't want me to be able to read it. Let's go right here. So it's caused pension funds around the world to lose millions of dollars. The California Public Employees Retirement Fund, the California State Teachers Retirement System, had invested in the bank, as did Korea's National Pension Service and Sweden's Electrica Pension Fund. So see, this is why these other nations are getting pissed at America. They like every time, Salakia, they like every time we invest in y'all, man, we end up losing. So the Federal Reserve has promised depositors that their money is safe, but has done little to ease concerns about the stability of the banking system. And yeah, you know, $250,000 is covered. Well, how about, you know, those one Esau Edoms that got, you know, they got millions or billions. That money gone. So they lost millions of dollars due to the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. They lost that. They're not getting that back. Okay. They're not getting that back. And on top of that, they got somebody saying, hey, you owe us some money. Okay. You still owe us money. And that's what's going on, man. Customers started to draw money in the masses. See? They said, fuck all that. They took all our money out. And that makes a crash, man. You know what I'm saying? And for that, a whole lot of shit's gonna start going down, man. Here's what it says in the scriptures. Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly all the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. That's what's gonna happen, you know, because they put all those pensions, which is Social Security, all that stuff, they lost millions of dollars. You know, that's what happens. You know, when you trust in America, Babylon the Great, you know, you're not supposed to trust in this place. I got another scripture for it. The Lord put the spirit on me to deal with it. And that's what they did. These other nations went down to Egypt for help, and they lost millions of dollars because you know they only covered $250,000. So these rich people, they might as well be a fucking fry cook like my ass now. You know, they lost everything they worked for. So lucky I got a little bit off topic. Sometimes I do that. You stick with the topics. So Isaiah 31:1. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many. See, they come to America, Babylon the Great, and they trust in it because look all the money they got. Look all the stuff they got. Look all they done. And now they broke. And in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahawashi Yahawashi. They don't seek the Lord. They just think that everything that they did works out. And now it's done for. You know, all their pension funds is ruined. You know, but you still got to remember, you got them people behind them that's saying, hey, we need that money, man. You know, just like if you mess up and you mess up and you owe a loan company some money, they gonna say, we don't give a fuck if you lost your money. We need that money. That's what they did. They took a whole bunch of loans and made a whole bunch of shit, and now it crashed. Now they like, where that bread at though? So now this is something that was interesting. The Lord just put the spirit on me to come on. I got a scripture for it. That the Lord put the spirit on me to deal with. It's one that I knew used a lot. Oklahoma City bombing figures, and you know, which was the I can't remember his name. It was I can't remember his name. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever you wanna believe, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this is everything's gonna fail, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to warn, and you know, it's on whatever you want to believe, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Timothy McVeigh. Yeah, I don't really do. All I do is do what the Lord tell me to do, man. You know, it's more like this is more like we're here to warn you, and you can decide what you want to believe. You know, we're not like the Christians. We're not gonna make you believe. You know, We don't really, honestly, you know, we don't care. It's our job to warn Israel. We know all Israel is not going to believe. You know what I mean? So you think that's not gonna happen? Watch. Shit's all coming to the ground.com. Okay? Next couple years, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and his will is destroy America, Babylon the Great. He's gonna tear this whole motherfucker up. So how you gonna tear the whole world up if Social Security is still available? How you gonna tear the world up if, you know, it's saying that the pensions are fucked up? And when it's talking about pensions, when you go look at it, it was talking about people's Social Security and their stuff. Yeah, it's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen now. You just wait. He said it won't tarry. You just wait on it. That's 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 9. You're real new in the truth, man. So do a lot more listening than saying, especially when you go to Great Millstone. Just don't say nothing, man. Just everything they say, agree. And just don't, you know, because this is what it says. Because you know how you say you don't think you're very connected with it. Well, this is what it says. You know, you got to do this with no emotions. You got to deny yourself, okay? You got to deny yourself, okay? And be more quick to listen than to speak. That's what it also says. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him. He shall direct thy path. See, he's going to direct you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. I get a little excited too. That's how I was when I started in the truth. But it says something about wise men. So you know what I'm saying? You just like me. You gotta be, you know. Hold on. Let me show you. You know, because right now this is charity what I'm giving to you. I'm trying to tell you this is how you need to be when you come into the truth. You want to say some stuff, you want to talk, we know. I was that same way, bro. But we got to be this way. It says Proverbs 17:28, even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. So how much more for a wise man? How much more for a wise man to hold his peace? This is even more wise. So it says, even when a fool hold his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. See, not everything got to be said. If you don't think it's going that verse ain't gonna come in, just think about it like this. I've been in the truth longer than you, so how you gonna teach me something that I don't know? You know what I'm saying? That's just like when I go to the elders. I don't go to them thinking I can teach them nothing. I listen, I shut the fuck up, and I learn. And if I can't understand it, I pray to Yahawashi and say, Lord, why did he tell me that? Why did he tell me that? Why did he tell me that? Because in the end, he's really trying to help you, okay, to get right with the Lord, okay, because this is the kind of men the Lord wants, okay, ones that hold their peace, especially the ones that's new into the truth, you know, especially, you know, when you coming on, you know, your brother's pages, you know, because really the comment board is for posting scriptures, okay, but we're new, okay, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I care, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's like if you don't know, the Lord's gonna put the spirit on me to be like, well, you know, he's new. He doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? Until we get to that point to where we're talking about it and you see like that, the comment board is for scriptures. You see what I'm saying? And if you ain't got no scriptures, take notes. Because then you can learn these scriptures. You know, because we're supposed to show thyself approved, you know, in every way, you know. And there's much that we have to learn, man. Which was, you know, I said in Spider-Man, with much power comes great responsibility, man. You know, there go his bucket ass right there. It looked the same way, just mad and evil. you know. But this is what the Lord, he likes those type of people to do this for him. This is what they're meant to do. Because, you know, he's not necessarily opposing the Lord. He's not necessarily going against what the Lord said to do because he had a wicked, Job 9:24. They're doing what the Lord told them to do. That's why it just says, don't envy the oppressor and take none of his ways. So it says in the scriptures. Ecclesiasticus 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on soul strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. See? You know what I'm saying? And really, in all reality, it's not really what I'm saying. This is what Yahawashi is saying through me to you. See what I'm saying? So really, it's not me. Like, I'm just doing what the Lord told me to say. That's how he does it. That's the Qadash. And the more you're in the spirit, and the more you learn, and the more you listen, the more that the Lord can use you. You have to be meat for his use. And he wants people who are going to be more quiet than who will talk. Because there's plenty of times when I want to say something to somebody when I know they're going off. The Lord says, no, just hold your peace. Because it says, don't cast your pearls before swine. Don't even say nothing to them. There ain't no reason. Because they're not going to even receive it and repent and convert and change it. You know what I mean? And we're just, you know, this is an iron sharpening iron moment. You know what I mean? It's just us, you know, just kind of showing you what you're going to deal with when you come into this truth. You know, you're not going to come in this truth without getting a couple black eyes. You're going to come in this truth without getting, you know, brought low. It says humility before honor. You're going to get brought low. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. You know, I was brought low when I came into the truth. And I'm still low. They you know, I'm not in great millstone. I'm just a servant, man. I ain't nobody. I'm just doing the work of the Lord, man. I ain't nobody, man. And keep that mindset that you're not nobody. Because as soon as you get prideful, it said first comes the pride before the fall. So just don't have no pride, man. Always be able to humble yourself. Because that's the people that the Lord's always dealing with, the ones that can humble themselves and not take in revenge. Because we don't even deserve to take our own revenge. Because the Lord, that's why he said, vengeance is mine. We don't even deserve to take our own revenge. We deserve death because we sinned against the Lord. You know, so we ain't nobody trying to think we're high and mighty or nothing. We don't want too many men or women, you know, coming in and being like, man, y'all so smart. No, we not smart. We ain't nothing without Yahawashi. I wouldn't even be doing this without Yahawashi. I ain't nothing, man. I'm not nothing, man. You know, I'm another lost Israelite that has been found by Yahawashi. I'm trying to stay in his good graces. That's it, man. That's it. Same way with you. You know, we're on the same level, going through the same stuff all the other brethren is going through in the world, asking the Lord not to take the Holy Spirit from us. Psalms chapter 50, verse 11. So we're going to go right here. It says India is building naval base on Great Nicobar Island. So this is just something also to do with Ezekiel 38:4.
From one theater of conflict, let's now turn to another, the Malacca Strait, the battleground for a maritime competition between two regional powerhouses. No prizes for guessing as to which ones that I'm referring to. This is the China and India. For the last 10 years, China has been trying to dominate this region. It has built ports. It has increased its naval presence. It's also tried to militarize small islands. Basically, Beijing wants to make its way through the Malacca Strait for a toehold into the which is India's backyard. China, a taste of its own medicine. Look at this report. India is now building a massive naval base, and it is doing it on the Great Nicobar Island. That this is a base that is being specifically built to keep a check on China's nefarious activities and to stop Beijing from stretching its neck further into the Indian Ocean.
And they saying that, but why would China let them do it then? Because China's just like America, Babylon the Great. They try to do stuff and they'll come out and give you some news and they make you think that they're not together, but they're together. Like, you know, when we was kids, We used to watch fucking WCW and shit and all that shit as kids. And, you know, you had those niggas act like they wasn't on the same team, but all them niggas on the same team because they're just there trying to make money. That's the same shit. They're just trying to make fucking money, you know? And they're also trying to take out America. But they don't want to put in the news that, hey, we're teaming together. He's going to build a naval base over here. We're going to do it. No, they're going to tell their news article person, hey, tell them that we're competing against each other. So they think that we're not together, you know? Because these people, the masses, don't understand the scriptures. And that's why when you come around and tell them, they'll be like, fuck you talking about? Okay? You know what I'm saying? So that's basically that, you know, they're getting it together. They're building shit. So now we're going to go to the next one. You know, I want to try to speed up a little bit because I got a lot of articles. Not really. Like, yeah, I got a lot. I got like 10 more left. You know. So now America's banking crisis is snowballing. U.S. funding Israel protests. So this is real interesting. Lord want me to put spit on this. Remember we talking about, and they talk about they had another Akim was talking about that they had $25 billion to cover small banks. Well, look, it says a $620 billion hole in the U.S. banks. They don't got enough money to cover that shit, man. So the only thing right now that they got left to hold on is everybody who ain't got 250 bands or more, which is majority, like 90%. That's why you can't really see nothing going on yet. You know, it's just all the rich people right now doing backflips and crawling on the ground and screaming. Some of them jumping out the windows over and fucking killing themselves and doing all that shit because the Lord is hitting their ass. Why is he hitting their ass? What did he say about the rich man? He said, we've been talking about this. They've been talking about this for 40 plus years, but in the recent months, this is what a lot of script. This is one of the precepts that have been getting brought up a lot in the brotherhood. Rich man shall soon depart from his folly, man. Soon depart from his folly in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Took all his bread. He got $2 in the pack of Rolos left. Proverbs 18:11. A rich man's wealth is wait, that's a good one. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as an high wall in his own conceit. So that's one of them. But the one I want to deal with, and that's a good one too, but I want to do the one that this is another one that the Lord put the spirit on me. Yeah. Pretty sure it's that one. Pretty sure it's Proverbs. Let me look it up in the blue letter because that looks like it's like a. No, where that? Slock it, bear with me. There we go. Nah, that's not right. It's it says something like it's been a while since I pulled it up. Oh yeah, I guess that's Proverbs 21:20. But and it's basically just saying like, okay, this is a good one. Yeah. Okay, Proverbs 28:11. We can look up this one because I some reason I couldn't find it. It talks about he'll depart from his money, but I think it was actually like in a different translation, but it's saying the same thing. But you don't want to look at some of these other translations because they try to twist the scriptures. That's why you want to stick with King James Version. But let's just do this one. This is a good one. Proverbs 28:11. A rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that have understanding search of him out. See what I'm saying? So the poor, we're able to use the spirit, the Qadash, to be able to say, hey, these witch men, they think that they smart. You know, they think they have wisdom because they have a lot of money. But in the end, their constellation is basically the losing constellation. You know what I mean? You know, and that's why it says don't envy these people, because in all reality, the Lord's got them on the losing side. Their constellation is on this side, and eventually it's going to fail. But let's look up this word conceit in the Bible. You know, so we do look up words.
Strong's H5869. Ayin.
See, conceit, I, of physical eye, of showing mental qualities, of mental and spiritual facilities, spring, fountain. And that's what they look towards, their physical eye. They look and say, oh, I got $500 million. What's somebody gonna touch me? Well, you put your fucking money in that shit 2 weeks ago. Now you got 250,000. You're talking that bullshit. But the weak, the meek, which is the lowly, the poor, that's why it says the meek shall inherit the earth. They have those mental qualities, the spiritual qualities, you know, to be able to see, hey, that rich man, he ain't gonna last forever. He gonna get his ass cut off because he's on that bull biggity. He think he the shit. And now they're in that shit. So let's watch a little bit of this.
Banking crisis is snowballing. 2 US banks have collapsed, and now the crisis is hitting the rest of the world. Yesterday, the US president tried to calm nerves. Joe Biden said debtors will be made whole, meaning they'll get their money back, and that the US taxpayers will not foot the bill. But what about the others? Also suffering the consequences.
Hey man, I'm not saying.
Let me tell you how big the fallout is. The failure of American banks has.
Keep your mouth shut. I'm not trying to make you feel like you can't say nothing, but just when you get on the comment board, especially the elders and apostles and great millstone, just put scriptures, man. Okay, you'll get a lot more favor that way. This is just an exhortation, which means a warning to you, so you won't go and get rebuked or get corrected. You know. So it was good you came to my page. Lord put the spirit on you, come to my page and do it, because I'm just a servant. I ain't nobody. We can talk like homies. Like, I ain't nobody to be, you know, you ain't gotta come all like, you know, in fear. It says when you approach the elders, it says to come with little conversation and much fear. Okay. It says to fear, because these men, if they don't like you, that means that's a big deal, because Bahasham and Yahawashi, those are his friends. Those are his friends, because they've been serving the Lord for over a decade, longer than some of us been alive. You know, so we really dealing with them. But you know me, I'm 1 year older than you, bro. You know, you ain't gotta, you know, you can feel easy. You can feel easy with me, man. I'm just saying, when you get on there with the elders and apostles, you know, go there with very few words, especially anybody who says GMS on their page. You just put scriptures, bro. Put scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not to gain favor, okay? This is to do the Lord's work, and Lord willing, He spares us, okay? Because our righteousness is filthy rags. We can't act like we nobody. We ain't shit, okay? without Bahasham and Yahawashi. But he made, you got to remember, he made the basis of men over us to rule over us. So he can use anybody. So as long as you stay humble and meek and know that you don't need to be exalting yourself, because Bahasham Yahawashi hasn't even been exalted yet. What makes you think that we should be exalted? We shouldn't be exalted, but he hasn't even been exalted. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't even been, you know, acknowledged in the world. We shouldn't be acknowledged. We should, as a matter of fact, stay hidden. It says right here. It says right here. You got to remember, if people don't hate you or don't like you or depart from you because of what you believe in, then the Lord's not dealing with you. You know, you must be separated from the rest of the world to actually have any kind of progress in this life. You know what I'm saying? Luke 6, chapter 6, verse 22. And this is Yahawashi said himself. Blessed are ye, they shall hate you, when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you and cast your name out as evil for the Son of Man's sake, which is Yahawashi. So you should take it account as a blessing that people depart from you. You know, take it as a blessing, man. You know, that means that the Lord's dealing with you, because it said even Yahawashi was full of grief and sorrow, man. Here rejoicing or glad. We're supposed to be glad that he's coming for us, but we're supposed to be in a state, you know, and you know, asking for forgiveness and repenting, you know, in fear. And what's fear? Doing the will of the Lord, which is what? Feed the flock, man. You. And I'm the flock too. Same time I'm feeding you knowledge, you're feeding me knowledge. You know, whether you know it or not. You're teaching me how to deal with Israel. Period. You know? We all learning from each other, you know? And that's how you build the body of Yahawashi and Yahawashi, you know? But when you first get in the truth, you're gonna get vetted. Vetted means that, like, they're gonna see if you're trustworthy. They're gonna test you. They're gonna check you out. They want to see you in person. That's why you got to go show yourself before the elders. You got to make yourself worthy. You got to first do stuff like maybe go be like, hey man, what y'all want before camp? We want some coffee? Go get them some coffee. Don't even be in front of the camera. You know what I mean? Don't even do no scriptures. You know, to show them, hey man, I ain't shit. I'm doing this to, you know, show that I want to be a part of the fold. Because that's inevitably, as a man, I believe, if you're gonna come to Great Millstone, if you're not trying to get into the fold, there ain't even no reason to even be doing this. That's how I look at it. Like, if you're not trying to get into the fold, pointless. You know, and it's the spirit that puts you in the fold. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't ever become a part of the fold, that doesn't mean you can't get saved. That just means that, you know, that's the brotherhood. You know, that's a certain, that's really what people don't understand, that is the governing body of the elect. Okay, Lord willing, we part of that number, but I believe that is the governing body of the elect that the Lord set up and ordained, whether people want to accept it or not. They are the judges of Israel. You know, and that's why it's not a game. You know what I'm saying? We learned everything from these men. You know, we're putting our lives on the line. This is basically treason to America Babylon the Great right now. So just you watching the videos and going to go see them, you're marked, man. You're on like a red list, blue list. You're on one of the lists, man. So that's why we always say count the cost and know what you're getting into. Because this is not just like we're supposed to just do videos. Like, no, you better be ready to die for this truth, man. And obviously, you already hate this world. So, you know, we're there at that point already. We don't give a fuck. We don't like it here anyways. You know, better to die for this than not die, than die for some bullshit. You know? But we're just going to keep going a little bit. You know, this is going to be a long lesson because, you know, I'm over here basically fellowshipping with you. You know what I'm saying? Talk.
Led to a loss of over $400 billion the world over. $400 billion. This is the loss in financial stocks worldwide, and the bleeding is still on amid a crisis of confidence. So how is India faring? How much are Indian companies exposed to this crisis? Well, there are some. And India has not been unaffected by all of this. Tonight we'll...
Hey, he said it was precious. It was precious for the ones who in Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. He said it's precious for somebody to get their head chopped off for this truth. They had to have some extreme faith, man. So if it happens, man, if you in there, that's your lot, don't be afraid, man. Keep your strength. Keep that strength, man. So keep that seriousness, because it is serious. You know, the Lord's not happy. He's stern forward, he's mad, but he does have peace towards the elect. But we don't know who the elect are, so that's why we want to be extra serious, just in case it might not be us. Because I've seen plenty of people come into this truth and leave, and I ain't even been there that long. You know, I ain't even been here that long in the truth. So how much more for the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, man? That's why they carefully vet you for a long time. Let's go ahead and finish this out.
Discuss which companies have been hit and how much. But first, an update on what's happening in the US. The American banking system is still reeling. On Monday, customers were still lining up outside SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank, the first bank that failed in this crisis. Government officials tried to contain the panic. Remember, American regulators have now taken control of the bank. They are the ones in charge. They're trying to revive the bank. Yesterday, some officials stepped out to meet customers. They bought donuts and coffee and offered words of reassurance.
Able to transact business as usual.
Motherfucker lost 200. Motherfucker lost $7 million. They bring some coffee and some donuts for their ass. He saw eat them on that bullshit. What is TMH? What is that? What is TMH? What's that, man? Oh, the Most High. Okay, all right. I was like, hold on. What is that? That's some other camp. What you talking about, bro? All right, cool. Hey. I don't ever act like I know nothing. If I don't know what you're saying, I'll be, hold on. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, that's how you want to be. You want to be, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Man, I done clicked off on my, where is that video I just had? Ah, man, I done doggone clicked off on it. Hold on. Dang, man. That's what I'm saying. No, we just gonna move on. She just talking about how it's you know, shit's breaking down, man. Where that? Wait. Yeah, it ain't. I don't know where I lost it at, man. I done lost the video. I tried to click off on it. But anyways, this one right here. Oh, it was talking about how, oh yeah. Let me bring it back up. Because this is important. Talking about funding the Israel protest. And this is actually a shorter one. That one's like 55 minutes. So this one's way better. I wasn't going to watch all of it, but I was just trying to get to the point. You know, they're trying to say, is U.S. funded Israel protest? And like I said, they're trying to make a crash themselves. And on top of that, you know, they got this thing called Project Bluebeam, and they're going to try to basically fake something. We don't know what they're gonna try to fake, but it could be fake alien invasion. It could be fake coming of Yahawashi, but we know that's gonna be off because they're gonna pull up. They're gonna pull up a so-called white man. It's gonna look like Jesus Christ. It's gonna look like Jesus Christ. So we're gonna know that's bullshit. And first of all, it's got to have the mark of the beast, World War III. All that shit has to come in and play first. So we know this stuff. People who have really been in the truth for a while. So
Speaking of which, there may be a shift in Israel's equations with the US. The Netanyahu government is under pressure. Israel is seeing its biggest protest ever, and now the government says it could be America's doing. It's quite a charge, and it came from a top aide of the prime.
Hey, and let you know, the Most High's name is not Abba, it's Yahawah. Okay, don't go there and say that. Don't say Abba, because we know Abba means father. But no, the Most High's name is Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. There will be no other name that's gonna save you. If something happened to you, you say Abba, you're not gonna get answered. You need to say Yahawah, Bahasham, which means in the name of Yahawashi, which is the heavenly Son. Okay, do not say Abba. Okay, just don't get it twisted, bro. It's Yahawah. That's the name of the Father. Got it. See what I'm saying? Yep. There you go. No Abba. Okay. We know that these lessons and stuff came and started. When Yahawashi gave Abba Bibbins, which we believe is John the Baptist reincarnated. Okay. This truth, but that is not. He's not gonna save us. Okay. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. There's no other name to call on. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Period.
Prime Minister. He's given no proof to back his claim, but he set the cat among the pigeons with this one. Let me start with a recap. Israel. 500,000 people are out on the streets protesting. They're against the government's controversial judicial reform. The new rules will give the Prime Minister a bigger say in picking judges. Remember, he faces cases himself. And this kind of power could give him undue influence over courts. That's what critics say, and people are protesting. Former military chiefs are warning about a possible civil war, but the Prime Minister is not willing to relent. Protesters say Israel is becoming a dictatorship and that they're out on the streets to protect democracy.
Yeah, whatever. Democracy is basically draconianism. And when you look up draconian, it means harsh, severe laws. They've always had harsh, severe laws, but it's only came towards Israel. Israel's the only one who's received these harsh laws. The other 16 nations, they have made out a diligent search to make sure that, and especially it's by the spirit of Yahawashi, to make sure that only Israel receives the curses. That's why if you're part of Israel, you're going to receive the curses. Period. According to Amos chapter 3, verse 2. Because he doesn't know any of the other nations. He said they're nothing in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 56. Amos chapter 3, verse 2 says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquity." So you got these other camps talking about, you got some people saying 144,000 elect and all the Israelites are just so-called black people. That's not true. In First Kings, it talks about Yahawashi, which actually is Solomon, and I don't want to get too much into it because you need to go study, man. But basically, it says in Colossians that Yahawashi is the first of all creation. So that means he had to be Adam, he had to be Isaac, because that was the one who made all the babies that he promised Abraham that his seed would survive. He separated Esau, even so-called white man, and Jacob, so he could have his seed to be saved at this time. And then King Solomon. And King Solomon, that's why it said, it said right here. Said right here. And it says Solomon went off, but he went off for a reason. He wasn't deceived. He knew what he was doing. He had to do that, and that's why he had to pay for our inequities, because he went off first for us. You see what I'm saying? Because he knew we was going to go off. So he's like, man, I got to go off to save him. You see what I'm saying? And he had to pay the ultimate price with that. We'll get sacrificed. So Isaiah 63, verse 17. O Lord, Bahasham, Yahawashi, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways, and harden our heart from thy fear? Return for thy servants' sakes the tribes of thine inheritance. And it says also that it said my heritage, and I believe it's he said my heritage was a speckled bird. I always start going off. I know. Hey, I could talk about Yahawashi all day.com. Okay. That's all I talk about. I don't got nothing else to do. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. So that's all shades of brown. But Yahawashi in Kings, he had Edomite women, he had Moab women, he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And when it comes to when you say concubines, that's talking about heathen nations. He had 300 heathen nation women. Okay, so there's a bunch of babies that look like so-called Chinese, which is the Moabs. He got a whole bunch of babies that look like so-called Japanese, which is the Ammonites. He got some so-called white people that's the Edomites. Okay, and their babies, they look like Edomites, but they're really Israel, man. But how do you know? You know by the spirit. You know by their spirit, and if they can accept their doctrine and not be confounded, which means become angry. See what I'm saying? And accept the doctrine. That's how you know who's Israel. Because if you're not Israel, Lord's gonna make sure you become confounded and he weeds you out. This is him sifting out Israel right now. You know? But oh yeah, that's a good topic. But we're gonna go back and what was she talking about? What was she talking about? She was talking about, I want to go listen to that, man. Where was that at? See, I'll be like you. I get excited and start pulling up a whole bunch of scriptures. I done probably went off the whole page. Where is it at? Went off the whole doggone page. Hold on. Because I haven't even got to watch this yet either. So I want to know too. And because I like listening to news over there on in the east and in the west, because the west in the west, they are designed to give you false news. I'm supposed to do that. That's right. Let me go see right here. Because I just had it pulled up. I don't know why it's gone. Yeah. It's a real quick video. I want to finish it. Go Esau Edom trying to get niggas play video games. Go speed up a little bit.
500,000 people are out on the streets protesting. Okay. They're against the government's controversial judicial reforms. The new rules will give the Prime Minister a bigger say in picking judges. Remember, he faces cases himself. And this kind of power could give him undue influence over courts. That's what critics say, and people are protesting. Former military chiefs are warning about a possible civil war, but the Prime Minister is not willing to relent. Protesters say Israel is becoming a dictatorship, and that they're out on the streets to protect democracy.
Yep.
Can Netanyahu survive this? 500,000 protesters turning up in a country of 9 million people. That's almost 5% of the country's population.
5%. That's a big amount. And then see, look, see, you so-called white guy, but see, you can understand the doctrine. That's how you know your father, because it's from the seed line. The father is the seed line. That's how you know that your father was a so-called Negro at some point, man. You know, or a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, or a Haitian. It was one of them, because you can spiritually understand what's going on, but you got to test yourself to make sure that you're a part of that, you know, by going through all the doctrine, you know, and that's why it says to seek the Lord with fear and trembling. But you know, seek out your own salvation. You got to see who you were part of. But the fact that you're even bring to the page, you've humbled yourself, you know, more than likely, man, you probably is real. But there was something I wanted to say. Because we even got some elders that look like so-called white people, man. Okay? For real. Elders, man. Israel look like all nations, man. Mark chapter 3, verse 25. And that's why I said test the spirits first. Test the spirits. That's why you can't, you know, you got these other people like IUIC and Watching for Israel. They be like, Edomite gets humbled and Edomites in chains. And that could be a Jake. That could be Jacob. They don't know, because they don't even test the spirits first, man. They don't even come in a humble state of mind and come and test the spirits, man. That's why the mother camps going off, man. Don't listen to nobody else but Great Millstone. Nobody else. If they don't say GMS on their shit, especially since you knew, if they don't say GMS on their shit, do not listen to their shit. And if they're not saying double honors to the elders and apostles, to Great Millstone, which is 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17, when they first come in and saying all praise to Yahawashi, do not listen to their ass. Okay? And even when you do, still be real careful. Still be real careful, man. Don't say GMS on their stuff. Don't listen to them. But I would advise you to go to the GMS members, Apostle Har, and all them that, you know, and the ones that have been teaching for a long time and can guide you, and also listen to the ones that are dropping videos every day. The ones that are staying diligent. You got some GMS members, they drop videos every day, man. They've been doing it for years. So it says in Mark 3:25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And that's how it is over there in Israel right now, because they're Amalek, the first descendants of Esau, and they trying to act like they're the Jews, and they're divided right now. So that's how you know they're gonna fall.
Out on the streets, it's unprecedented. These protesters are carrying the Israeli flag, chanting slogans like "Israel will not be a dictatorship."
I'm here to demonstrate and to sound my voice against the dictatorship that they establish here in the name of the so-called law, judicial reform. It's not a judicial reform.
Oh, so-called law. See, you see how they be, don't nobody in the world say so-called unless they watch the GMS, man. So a lot of these people who are coming out and protesting, a lot of these people who wait, what? Yeah, he might be. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure, because I haven't listened to too much of GMS Columbus. I really need to go actually check out them brothers and give alms and stuff, but I haven't got to listen to them that much. But you know, just remember, this is not a I think kind of thing. If you don't know, just say you don't know. You know, he might be an elder, he might not. Best thing to do is ask him. You know, in humble and sincerity. Are you an elder? And they're gonna tell you, because they're about order. They're about order. When you look right here in Titus, they're not gonna go out of the order of Yahawashi. Okay, they're not gonna go outside that order. They're gonna be about that order. Okay, period. They're not gonna tell you something that's not. Okay, they're literally here for Yahawashi. All of us are. Look, verse 5. First Titus chapter 1 verse 5. For this cause I left thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city, as I had appointed thee. If any be blameless, be husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly. And that's what it is right now, because we're under the curses. But it says after we're lifted up from the curses and we're going back in the kingdom, then men is gonna have many, gonna have many, they're gonna have many wives. It says 7 women will cling to one man, which in 7 just means completion, perfection. It could be more than 7 women. It could be less. That's up to the Lord. But like I said, yeah, always, man, always. I'm here to try to help the new believers like me, man. This is stuff that I had no idea about, and I had to study and look at all the elders' videos and everything. I didn't even come across this scripture until like a month ago. I've been studying for 8-9 months, man. So you can take some notes, man, and then really get edified on one video. I'll be answering all your questions. You know what I'm saying? So just remember, he's appointed elders in every city, man. He's appointed them. They're doing their job. They're going to tell you whether they're an elder or not. I'm going to actually put this on the comment board. You need to go watch this. And actually, you need to go to the GMS vault. You need to go watch the Genesis, the first one. He's got a first one, too. It talks about Genesis. Okay, this is Genesis the first, and he's going to explain to you how things came about in the correct way. And this is Apostle Tahar. So there's that. You want to take that, you want to go study these vault, the GMS vault. You want to get in there. They got a lot of different breakdowns, and you want their breakdowns. Especially when you first come into truth. You want to be listening to the apostles and elders, man. That's what we all did. We went and listened to the apostles and elders. They're like basically the doctors of Yahawashi. They're supposed to fix you and show you whatever your lot is. Lot means destiny. They're supposed to show you basically what you're supposed to be doing for the Lord, and you're supposed to perfect that and fulfill that lot and complete holiness, to the best of your abilities, because we're under the curses. We're going to go off. He made us err from our ways, so you're going to go off, but he's only going to put the spirit on the people who are really Israel and want to change. But he said he's going to wake up his men first in the end of days. But it's going to be first the tribes of Judah, okay, the so-called Negroes. But just because you look like a so-called white guy doesn't mean that you're not a so-called Negro. Because your dad could be a so-called Negro and your mom could be a so-called white person. That still means you're a so-called Negro. See what I'm saying? And that's the point. These other people are basing salvation off skin color. We don't base it off skin color. We base it off faith. Because you can't look in the Bible anywhere where it says so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Asian. You can't look in there where it says America, Babylon the Great. That's the faith part. That's the part where you got to have faith. But only Israel is going to see. But that's just because Yahawashi has granted them the keys of life. This doctrine. But we're gonna keep moving, because I know some other people gonna come across this video and they're gonna want to actually see the news. So let me keep going, man. I'm Salaki. This is my fault. Okay, I'm like you. I get to want to show people stuff, and I go all the way off in the other direction and not stick to the lesson. But we're gonna get back to the lesson.
It's a revolution making Israel go to full dictatorship. And I want Israel to stay a democracy for my kids, for my grandson who will be here, because Israel is a democracy country and it must stay as one.
It's democracy. It's the but. Well, whenever they give you the chip, you're going to find out that you're not a democracy. You're a slave. Citizen literally means slave. So we're going to move on. We've had enough of that. showing a divided house can't not stand. So it says FBI investigating Manhattan hotel fire after Chinese billionaire's arrest. So this is just kind of dealing with, you know, a rich man will soon depart from his money.
Arrested on federal charges out of New York this morning.
And just a short time later, a fire coincidentally broke out inside the apartment where he was arrested. Fox 5's Chris Welch joins us live outside the Sherry Netherland Hotel. And do we know of any possible connection, Chris?
That's the big question at this hour, Stephen and Tasha. Look, ordinarily, we wouldn't be doing a live report at this time of the show that we're talking about a fire broke out with no injuries and that was extinguished in a relatively short amount of time. But this is the second time today that something newsy has happened at this exact building outside the Sherry Netherland Hotel. The FBI is confirming the apartment where the fire broke out. Listen to this. It's the same apartment where a Chinese billionaire and Steve Bannon associate was arrested just hours earlier in the day. U.S. attorneys with the Southern District of New York arrested Ho Wan Kwok, and that's just one of his names. He goes by at least 7 other aliases. They arrested him earlier this morning and hit him with several charges. Those charges include wire fraud, securities fraud, bank fraud, and money laundering. He's accused of misappropriating hundreds of millions of dollars in fraudulently obtained money. Now, in regard to the fire here.
See how these rich-ass motherfuckers, they ain't rich. They some crooks, man. Hey, man, yeah, go ahead and do your thing, man. Shalom. Hey, always, man, call on Bahasham outside, Bahasham Qadash, Barak, Atha, and stay up, man, and keep yourself in the faith, man. Don't be afraid of chastisement. It's a way to handle it. You know, don't take it personally. Just take it as they don't want to see you get blown up. Okay, it's love when they're telling you don't be fucking up. It's love, bro. Okay, but it says in the scriptures to rebuke them sharply. You know, but that's depending on how you approach them. You know, sometimes you get a lighter rebuke, but rebuke is love, man. That's the customs of Israel. So, man, go do your thing, man. Go do your thing. Go do what you got to do. Shalom, and it don't even really matter if you finish it, man. This is for whoever wants to get edified. Like I said, I'm just a servant. You know, I'm really just to bring you to Great Millstone, man. They're really the teachers. I'm just a dog barking, okay? Telling everybody they're in trouble. So, Shalom, man. Be safe out there, man. Keep your prayers in Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay, so we're gonna go back to so we're gonna look this up. This is a good one for Proverbs 13:11. For this topic right here for the rich man. It says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. And that's talking about, you know, laboring physically and spiritually, you know, because, you know, it says that we're only supposed to want our daily benefit. He only gives us our daily benefits anyways. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we're only supposed to have our daily benefits because we're in our captivity and be thankful for that, that just shows that these rich men, they act like they rich and they got all this money, but they're thieves, man. They're thieves and robbers. They're liars, man. So, and now they're finally getting revealed. Now we're going to go over here to...
Whoa, new ride? Yep, we're cruising in style with Verizon Home Internet. Got it for just...
Go over here to SVB collapse aftershocks. So we're going to look into this.
The second and third largest bank collapses in U.S. history transpired over the weekend. In one of the most shocking developments to hit the banking sector since the global financial crisis of 2008, Silicon Valley Bank, or SVB, failed on Friday, March 10th, after a sudden rush of withdrawals. SVB was well known for its links to the VC and tech industry, and had $209 billion in assets under management, it failed and was placed into receivership under the FDIC. On Sunday, the contagion hit New York-based Signature Bank, which also failed after a bank run by spooked investors. With $118 billion of assets under management, Signature is the third largest banking collapse in U.S. history. And in an effort to shore up confidence in the banking system, the Treasury Department, the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp, or FDIC, stepped in with several measures, including an assurance that all Silicon Valley Bank and Signature clients would be protected and able to access their money. Now, the FDIC typically insures deposits up to $250,000 US, but in an unusual move, regulators announced that all Silicon Valley Bank and Signature customers would have access to their deposits, including those with more than $250,000, which in fact was the vast majority of SVB's domestic deposits. Regulators also unveiled a new way to give banks access to emergency funds, making it easier for banks to borrow from it, saying that the U.S. will do whatever is needed to shore up the banks, and that Americans should, quote, rest assured that our banking system is safe. But just how safe is the banking system? What are the ramifications for the economy and the Fed's next moves and your portfolio? Well, joining me to discuss these rapidly changing developments is Matthew Peipenberg. He is the commercial director of Matterhorn Asset Management and the author of several books, including Gold Matters, Real Solutions to Surreal Risks. Matthew, welcome back to Kitco.
It's great to be back, Michelle. Lots to discuss today.
Lots to discuss. We may be, in fact, on the verge of a surreal risk. So I want to start off by helping our viewers understand what happened here. Just as a recap, Wednesday, March 8th, SVB announces a loss of $1.8 billion from the sale of investment securities. And at the same time, SVB's holding company announced intentions to raise $2.25 billion to shore up the bank's capital. Now, rather than comforting investors and depositors, has had the opposite effect. The surprising announcement spooked the markets, causing a run on the bank. And then within a few hours, we had depositors withdrawing over $42 billion in cash, approximately 25% of total deposits. That left the bank with a negative cash balance approaching $1 billion. And by the end of the day on Thursday, unable to shore up the shortfall overnight, the bank failed, and it was then placed under the FDIC as receiver. All right, that's kind of how we got there. But a lot of the problem with Silicon Valley Bank, Matthew, seems to come down to interest rate risks, which the bank's executives failed to plan for, as the Federal Reserve has obviously been very aggressive with its rate hikes over the last year, and keeping in mind that over 57% of SVB's assets were in marketable securities, comprised mostly of U.S. Treasury securities and mortgage-backed bonds. So, Matthew, explain what happened here.
There's a lot you've hit on. I mean, you've hit the issue of the banking risk, you've hit the issue of securities risk, you've hit the issue of treasury risk and bond risk and Fed policy, and then, of course, now a new banking crisis, which in many ways is very different, very familiar to the 2008 crisis. It's a run, as you said, which is a little bit different than what happened with Bear and Lehman and Citi and even Goldman Sachs, which played both sides of the CDS and MBS trade. I think before you can even get into Silvergate or Silicon Valley Bank or even Signature Bank and maybe even now First Republic, before we get into the details, I think I would have so many needles pointed at this red credit balloon. There was something bound to hit that balloon. And in this case, it's now the headline du jour is a new banking crisis, the 2023 version. And I think this is all within the theme of what we've been talking about for 12 months, really since, Powell or the Fed began tightening into the greatest credit crisis in history, that something was going to break. There was going to be a credit event in the markets. And I just wrote an article, I think 3 weeks ago in February, about the sovereign bond market, which does tie into SVB and Silvergate and these other banks, that there were 3 moments of total dysfunction in the credit markets just in the last few years. The first one, of course, was the repo crisis in 2019 in September, which was, you cannot underestimate the significance of a leading indicator what it meant for bonds and banks. That repo crisis basically said that large commercial banks didn't trust each other's collateral, which was U.S. Treasuries, and so the Fed had to come in and be the lender and eventual spender of last resort to help the big banks, the big commercial banks. Then you had the COVID crisis in 2020 in March, where stocks and Treasuries and bonds in general fell together, and then just last October, you had the gilt implosion in the UK across the pond. And I wrote 3 weeks ago that there's going to be a fourth uh-oh moment. All these cracks in the ice in the credit markets are going to affect banks, and it's going to be a fourth uh-oh moment. And just, of course, Friday, that fourth uh-oh moment came, and we had another banking crisis. And to your point, this bank of 2023 is different than 2008 for a number of reasons. The key word that I agree with, Michelle, is it's a run. It's a run on the bank. That's what happened at Silvergate prior to, Silvergate went into a voluntary liquidation, and it had $6 billion deposits. SVB had over 170 billion, so it was a different headline, a bigger story. But it was a run on the bank, and that's different than what happened. It's important for people to realize it's different than what happened at Bear Stearns or Lehman or these other banks in 2008. What you had in 2008 was these mortgage-backed securities, these toxic, subprime mortgages, which were paraded as AAA credits or investment-grade credits by the rating agencies like Moody's or S&P, was really just horse crap wrapped in tinfoil and sold as diamonds. And that created, people woke up the next morning and realized their banks' asset side of their balance sheet had tanked overnight. There was loss of faith in the balance sheet. What happened at Silvergate and at SVB and now at these other regional banks is, prior to the headlines, there was a loss of faith in the assets and the collateral and in the I guess the loans of these type of banks. And this has a lot to do with this behind BB and at other regional banks. What happened in Northern California? Loss of trust in the collateral in the banking system, which had to do with their measurement of risk. A lot of that has to do with the ripple effects of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and the crypto exchanges and crypto-linked accounts, which were at Silvergate, or startup investments, yesterday's unicorns, which are now tomorrow's donkeys, as these growth stocks and tech stocks head towards a mark cliff, which is the first stocks to get hit. And from my conversations with folks in Northern California, the VC environment, already talking to clients and folks about the risks in the collateral and then these tech stocks and these banks. And so what you had was a run. A run is very different because these banks have underestimated. On a bank, it's like any Ponzi scheme. The fastest runners are the first out, the first to win. The slowest runners get burned. It's like a theater, which I wrote about. When it catches on fire, the exit door is the size of a mouse hole. And so as these kind of lack of confidence, these collateral, these depositors started to take their money out, banks like SVB or Silvergate were forced to sell assets to meet depositor demand. But this is how the Fed comes into the play, Michelle, because the Fed.
Shalom, sister. But basically, he was talking about the gold and the dollar is going to collapse. So I don't want to go too much in it because he talked for about an hour, and I don't listen to none of these Edomites longer than 5 minutes. I only listen to Great Millstone, the whole video. So this is basically what we're going to filter in. Because they think that the gold is going, and the gold and silver standard is going to fix the situation. According to James chapter 5, verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days, to be destroyed with fire, as it says. So we're going to keep going. Already did that. Now it says credit. Suze needs 54 billion bailout to avoid collapse as crisis hits Europe, right? Well, it said that in the U.S. it was about a $625 billion crash. So they only supplied. There's another video I did earlier. They only supplied 25 billion for smaller government, for smaller banks. So we know that this is not going to tap out. You know, this is not going to come out to be. They're going to tap out. It's going to be the end of this banking system, and they're going to issue in the CBDC. And let me see. Yeah, we don't have to do too much into it. I just wanted to put the video out there. They're still talking about Credit Suisse needs. It's another bank. Credit Suisse. Let's look them up. But they're going to be some of the next that are coming to crash. Yup. Borrow up to 54 billion from Swiss Bank. So they trying to get out too. They finna crash too. So that's another bank that's about to crash, and they will crash. Then we got Taiwan Ally. Honduras seeks diplomatic switch to China. So for them to have an article about this woman has to be somebody significant, you know, because I don't know who the woman is. But it's a Taiwan ally, which means that she was an ally also of America battling the Great. But now she's trying to switch over to China. And I just seen another Akim, GMS, let me see. It was GMS, one Akim, one of the Akims that I follow. GMS Gospel of Good News. He also said that where's it at? He said that Mexico applies to join the BRICS nations. See, there it is. They applied to join the BRICS nations. So for that to be something that's going on, you know, that's just more of the prophecy coming into pass. Hold on real quick. Can you still hear me? Is the mic still working? What's going on? Oh yeah, okay. It's still working. Some reason everything just started going off. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure the mic was still working. Okay. Okay, cool. The water. Okay, so back over here talking about, you know, like it says in Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4 that I spoke of earlier, they're joining the BRICS nations. And, you know, and that's why it says that there will be many that come with those other nations that it spoke of and will be a guard unto Russia. And that's part of it. That's part of it. So then we got also to ally Honduras seeks diplomatic switch to China. And that's them going basically to the BRICS nation too. It says to Taiwan is in danger of losing one of its few formal allies. Honduras is the Central American nation relations with China. So let's see who this woman is. What does she own? Because she must be a big deal. Slakia. Oh man. You saw I'm always trying to mess with my internet, man. So let's see who this woman is. who is, you know, these women control stuff now. Oh, it's a country in Central America. So it's not just a lady, but I guess she's like the representative or something. And she is speaking of them going over there to China. So everybody is, and I just did a video earlier that was talking about all the other nations. They are now putting out, they're complaining about America. They're tired of America, Babylon the Great. So now they're all trying to ally with BRICS nations, as the scriptures always say. So now we're going to go. Humans are on track to achieve immortality in 7 years, future it says. And this was I got this from GMS South Carolina 08, one of the elders of Great Millstone. And they really think they're going to, they think that this is going to work. They think that they're going to be immortal. They really think. But you know what the scriptures say, as the Lord says, saith the Lord, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Lest 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And then we got Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And this is one of their enterprises. They think that they're going to be able to be on track to achieve immortality in 7 years. We don't even know if we're going to be here tomorrow. And look how proud these demons is, man. You ain't going to reach no immortality. Y'all can't even keep y'all banks running, man. Y'all talking about y'all going to reach immortality. Whatever. So this right here is a big deal right now. It says popular Poland-based grocery retail Green Zebra will close its doors at the end of the month. Okay, because the bank. Okay, and then also now, but we're gonna, and it's gonna give you a rundown. Hold on, Slakia. It's going down of basically all the stores that have closed, Slakia, in the recent years. In the recent year, because you know it's the start of the new month. You know, about 11 days ago.
We invite you and your family to join us for a memorable journey through the past, present, and future at the Choctaw Cultural Center. The living
It says this year, seeing retail stores closing at alarming rates. This includes factors such as challenging consumer habits, post-pandemic challenges, and inflation. Let me get that out the way. Our Ionic department stores such as Macy's, Kohl's, and Bed Bath & Beyond announced hundreds of store closures for 2023, which with many already underway, and we already had some videos about that. Since 2016, roughly 40% of the nation's department stores have closed. So, you know, people are seeing now, you know, that stuff has been closing, but it's been happening since 2016. So this place has been falling. People still don't realize it. You know, some of Israel is starting to wake up now, the new people, including myself. You know, but You got some people that still don't consider. You got Jake that still don't get it. Like, also my immediate family, and they 2/3, right? They definitely 2/3. They call on Jesus Christ more than Esau, Edom call on money. Okay, it's ridiculous. But we pulling up to the store, and because I'm in the process of, Lord willing, I can get the fuck out of here. This is where I'm captive at right now. But to be able to do the work, we got to suffer for the Lord, being long suffering. But there was a store, they were talking about how it was closing. The only thing that one of my immediate family members said was, oh, well, they should have some baby products in there for cheap. I'm like, don't you not know that the system is crashing and you trying to get some extra baby products? See, that's what I'm saying. That's how Jake thinks. Jake just trying to get an extra little, a little one up on their bag, that not being deplenished as much. They're not thinking about the whole nation's finna get destroyed. It's ridiculous. It says over 60 major retailers filed for bankruptcy, including Brooks Brothers, Sears, Circuit City, Forever 21 apart. I'm where I'm at. The Forever 21 and the Sears, both of them closed. So I knew about that. Circuit City too. So that's just a little bit. Man, talk about this place. The chain works for fine convenience stores. What convenience stores could be. Green Ziva pitched itself a fresh local produce, meat, and groceries, not cigarettes and candy. And so, they're not even holding like essentials, or they're not holding non-essentials. What I mean is lucky. They're actually holding stuff that's needed, and they got shut down. So that's a big deal, And I see another video that Ha Amawanga Bar did yesterday. They got some places eggs cost $75 for a carton, like a 24 pack. $75 for 24 pack. A bag of shrimp, and of course we're not even supposed to be eating seafood. You got this Jake on there, and she probably not even a Jake. She probably a tear, complaining about how she got to spend $21 for a bag of shrimp. And what's even more crazy is the damn woman still gonna buy the shit. I'm saying, man, how you gonna complain about something and still do it? So Jake is, they gonna come up there like, they making me take the mark of the beast. I can't believe this, and go take the damn thing. The damn Jake, man. Jake get on my damn nerves, man. I can't stand Jake. I can't stand 2/3. They just so damn just don't get it. But Canada to send ammunition to support Ukraine's air defense. So this right here, they're talking about sending 8,000 rounds of military ammunition, defensive missiles. And one of the elders was talking to it was GMS South Carolina LA. He was talking to a Marine, and that Marine saying that the war is only going to happen in the Middle East, and it's not going to be a world war. But as you can see, why would Canada be sending military weapons after already? I did a video. They were sending, they sent American Babylon the Great sent $74 billion over there. Why they got to send 8,000 rounds of ammunition if American Babylon the Great are already doing it? Because it's going to be a world war. It's going to be a world war. So let's pull it up. Revelations. (11) verse 14. I'm starting trying to remember these by heart, so shot, man. Blessing me with memory. Come on now. All right. On the internet, I always want to start messing up. So the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. And the third woe is World War III. We don't got too many more articles. No, we got that. And it says millions of women takes the street, which is Ephraim. All these Ephraim 2/3 women, they take streets across Latin America and the Caribbean, and they want to complain about. They said on March 8th, International Women's Day, millions of women across Latin America and the Caribbean took to the streets to protest against patriarchy or all its forms of manifestations to demand equal rights in all spheres of life. Argentina and Mexico, women and gender diverse people demonstrated against gender inequality, gender-based violence, femicides, transvesticides, as well as neoliberal economic policies that worsen hunger and poverty in the region. So they were complaining about, how, basically they're trying to exhort their own righteousness. They're trying to come out because it says that the woman's supposed to be at home, keepers of home. They're not supposed to be out there protesting. They're not supposed to be out there trying to demand something. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be asking your husband at home and serving your husband. But these women, see, look at this woman over here, man. She got the doggone Chuckladales on, man. This female got the Chuckladales on, man. They trying to be some men. They trying to come out here and look, we just gonna pull up the scripture. I don't want to say nothing else. I don't want to be rude. But come on now. She got the Chuckladales on. She in trouble. She better repent and convert. Doggone Chuckladales, man. Always get 2/3. Out there smiling with a doggone poster like when you ever try to go out and demand something and be out there smiling about it. Who the hell does that? We're gonna be out here smiling like we out here partying or something. Like, you're supposed to be angry, first of all, and second of all, like I said, you ain't supposed to be out there doing that. You're supposed to be at the house doing what your man tell you to do. What you're supposed to be doing, But as we know, just 2/3 women, they don't like to humble themselves. Isaiah 32:9, rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless woman, for the vintage shall fail, which is the workplace. The gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, ye troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins. And that's what's going to happen to these women, because a lot of these women are not listening to the men of the Lord. They're not doing anything for the Lord's men. They're not doing none of that, And like we always say, we're not talking about the 1/3 of the women who have been coming in humbleness and meekness and coming to help the elect, or the hopeful elect, who we believe that are the elect. Lord willing, we part of that number, but we don't know until the end. You won't know until you're beamed up in the chariot, as the apostles and elders always say. So it's a very, I feel like it's a very scary topic, because we could be doing everything, and but you always can have those lessons and those scriptures that will keep you faithful. It talks about how anyone who's really called on the name of the Lord in humbleness and meekness has never been confounded. Have never gotten angry about the doctrine. Always been accepting of the doctrine, no matter what. Those ones the Lord, he said he would not leave behind. So we stick with that. But it says right here, Walmart closing all stores in one major U.S. city this month, laying off more than 500 employees. Now they got the Walmarts also closing too. And you got the big banks. All these rich people are starting to end up broke. Because some of these people who didn't have millions of dollars and billions of dollars, for them to have only 250 grand left, that's like them basically being broke, you know? Because they still got bills to pay. They still got to pay their $1 million house mortgage and all their stuff. They money gone. They finna be out here with us. So Staten Island, New York, or they're going to have to take that C-hip, which they will. After recently announcing the closure of 7 unperforming stores in 5 different states, Walmart has revealed that it will shutter its last 2 remaining stores in Portland and lay off some 580 employees by the end of the month. According to the Hill, company will close Hayden Meadows, Eastport Plaza Measures, both located in Portland. So that's another thing that's happened. That's scary for those people, you know. It's real scary for those people, you know, because you know Walmart is the go-to place. Like I said, this place they got shrimp that's $100 damn, you know, and Walmart's still really the only place where you can still get some low prices or whatever they try to say, which ain't nothing low. But it's lower than they shit. Because everywhere, when I go around town, like, there's this one store that we got called Sprouts. You'll go in there, I try to get a pack of beef sausage because I like to cook salads. You know, because I don't really eat too much leavened bread anymore. You know, I might have a sandwich every now and then with some leavened bread at the plantation. You know, if I didn't get to eat before I came up there, but most time I just eat salads. And I'll go get me a pack of beef sausage. You know, cut some sausage up to put it in with it. You know, because I've been trying to cut back on the meat. You know, and eat more vegetables. But you know, it's still lawful to eat beef. So you know, I'll eat a little bit. You know, I need that energy. And you know, to be able to go work and stuff. The plantation, be able to bring provisions back and still be able to help out the brotherhood. And, you know, myself, you know, and you gotta have balance. But I went over there to the Sprouts and they had like, one of their little packs was like $6.99, $7.99. I was like, the hell is wrong with y'all, man? Don't charge me $8 for one little pack of sausage. Not sausage, but like beef. It's like beef. It don't got no pork in it. That's what they, you know, we're not supposed to eat no pork. You know, so it's just like beef. But it's just crazy how they doing that. So I've been cutting back on them beef packets. I've been getting just straight chicken. They got right now they got the chicken strip cheap, like $10, and I'll cut that up, make a salad out of that or whatever. But you know, that's just, you know, just some random thing that might edify some people who are trying to eat more healthier that come across the you know, my page. Libya uranium says tons gone missing. United Nations say. The IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, they said 2.5 tons of uranium have gone missing from a site in Libya. The UN's nuclear watchdog has said. So how you a watchdog if somebody just somehow managed to take 2.5 tons? That's like almost 5,000 pounds of uranium. And they just, man, see, that's what I'm saying. These people are some liars. Okay, something's finna happen. Something big's finna happen. Okay. We're gonna read a little bit of it. It said IAEA sounded the alarm after a visit by the inspectors of the disclosed site earlier this week. Well, they're supposed to be a watchdog, right? Well, they sure ain't watching because they pulled up and 10 drums containing uranium ore had disappeared. Inspectors fear the uranium could pose a radiological risk and also have concerns over nuclear security. Well, you know, why did you have somebody pull up where you got tons of uranium and y'all don't got nobody watching it? Because there's a lot to steal 10 barrels. You just pull off of 10 barrels, like somebody had to see you, okay, pulling up on a whole uranium site when they talk about nuclear power is important. Somebody had to be, man, it just doesn't sound right to me, but we'll see what happens. I didn't even want to put no scriptures with it. I just thought it'd be edifying to bring it up. I'm not sure. The Lord not putting the spirit on me to do nothing yet, but this is an ongoing. This is we don't know, but we know that they're forgers of lies and positions of no value. We know that. So we know for one thing, these motherfuckers over here lying. So now we're gonna go. Planned judicial overhaul divides Israel. And it was talking about, I was showing earlier in the video talking about how they're divided. There's a lot of protests right now, and it talks about how the divided house cannot stand. It talks about, Netanyahu or Netanyahu, sorry if I said that wrong, Salaki, rejects president's proposal. So they're being divided right now, which means what? A divided house can't stand. So that's the Israel who they're self-prepped to be destroyed. So now we're going to go over into this right here. 6 held over alleged kidnap and torture of Sydney man Peter Vaughn. So that's a pretty serious deal, And we're going to pull up the scripture about it. Just about done. Got one more article after this. There was a new brother and into the truth, and I was kind of giving him a little exhortation about a couple things, so the video took a little longer, but the Lord just put the spirit on me to do it because he's humble with the way he came, and I'll just it says those who don't show mercy will not receive mercy, and it's mercy to give charity to those people and kind of show them things, especially stuff that's going on with them, and I'm not an elder, I'm not even part of the camp yet, I'm not even in the fold, so I just I want to help other people who are coming in new in the truth. Hey, don't do what I did, do these things, and you'll end up a lot better. So 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. That's what's going on. Waxing worse and worse. And man, torture is not something lightly to say. That's a scary thing, to be tortured, but we gotta gain that strength. We don't take that MARK, that C hit. Pray to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, like you, that we endure to the end. So now this is one of the big topics that I want to talk about. Double production of missiles in Russia. They want double production. Defense minister orders missile factory to double production. What's that mean? They saying do double. Joel chapter 3 verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords. They saying double up that time. So we're gonna watch this video. It's about 2 minutes, then we're gonna close out.
Right, let's move on to the other big story we are tracking. Sergei Shoigu, the Russian defense minister, has ordered a top Russian arms manufacturer to double its production of high-precision rockets. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu visited the Tactical Missile Corporation factory in Moscow. The factory manufactures high-precision rockets. Shoigu ordered the workers to double their productivity. He said that this would reduce labor costs and also make additional products available.
Yes, задача одна. Задача одна – это увеличение производительности труда, естественно, сокращение издержек, затрат. Затрат в основном имеется в виду трудозатрат. И за счет этого, конечно, увеличение, еще раз повторюсь, в 2 раза этих изделий, которые вы делаете, они так необходимы. Именно поэтому мы надеемся на то, что те обязательства, которые взяли на себя в 2023 году, в 2024 году, в целом по программе.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin, who was visiting a helicopter factory in Siberia, said that Russia's economic strength was unshakable in the face of the Western sanctions. He also said the fundamental foundations of Russia's stability are much stronger than anyone thought.
Мы кратно повысили наш экономический суверенитет. Ведь на что рассчитывал наш противник? Что мы рухнем через 2-3 недели или через месяц? Вот что. Вот на что был расчет. Расчет был на то, что остановится предприятие в связи с отказом наших партнеров работать в экономической сфере вместе с нами. Рухнет
Says to work together with the U.S. in the economy, the offensive system will collapse in thousands.
Финансовые системы. Тысячи людей, десятки тысяч останутся без...
People, tens of thousands will be out of work. Will take the streets to the protest. Take to the streets to protest, and it talked about. It's in Isaiah 19:15. Pretty sure. Yes, sir. Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. That's what he's talking about.
Заработают, выйдут на улицу, будут протестовать. Россия будет раскачана изнутри.
It says, hold on, let me bring this back. Oh, man. This is what they counted on. This did not happen. Russia was sway from within and collapse. But see, they thought that Russia was going to fold, and it's not going to happen. All the other nations, they're going to come together with them for that, for them standing firm.
The Kremlin describes the Ulan-Ude aviation plant in Siberia as one of Russia's leading producers of helicopters. Vladimir Putin is also expected to hold talks with Syria's leader Bashar al-Assad, who arrived in Moscow on Wednesday.
You see how Esau Edom is? He said double the nuclear, double the intercontinental ballistic missiles. He don't give a fuck if they can do it or not. He just say do that shit and then walk away and be like, it better be done. Well, that's how Yahawashi is, with his men. We need to do his work diligently, and if it don't be done, then you're gonna pay the cost. You got to be doing this diligently and get it done double time. I'm not saying that he's telling us to do it double time, but it says this. We're gonna close out with this. He didn't say 2 times. He said 10 times more. Barak chapter 4, verse 28. For it was in your mind to go astray from Yahawah. So, being returned, seek him 10 times more. And that's why, I at least try to do a video or 2 a day. That's seeking him, and then also going into the lessons, Lord willing, it doesn't keep raining. I might be able to go out and do some more camp tonight. You know, so Lord willing. So that's all I got for today. I want to give all praises to Barak, Atha, Yahawah. Barak, Atha, Yahawashi. Barak, Atha, Yahawah. Barak, Atha, Yahawashi. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to elders and apostles of great millstone led me to this truth. Faith and sincerity. It's a sincere message to all the elect of Israel, whomever they are. Stay prayed up, stay in the faith. Trusting Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. I want to give double honors to elders and apostles of great millstone led me to this truth. Also a sincere salutation to all the Akim that are pushing this truth out there to the four corners of the earth. And, you know, to the sincere sisters who have been coming back in humbleness and humility and coming back to the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, that we all may be delivered. Lord willing, we part of that number. Shalom. Stay prayed up. Lord willing, we'll get to come back and give the flock some more hope with these lessons and with these warnings. Shalom.